All right. I was here for me Mawakwaba about Ghana and Sem TV. Na your best say we subscribe to the channel and move my doing about our conversation. We better not turning on the notification send it by ya anytime be ya the video say any kind of video say be banner. You'll be the first person to see it. Let me try you know.
How ngobra. I'm saying for minim say enura de wan nya daje anhwe parliament. Enura parliament ye butu. A parliament ye butu pa. Obati Bawku is penning. Ye ka kire wanabo mahama yarga say. Onko pasundie. On prasundie ma Bawku. Na onja say obabeye patapan wa parliament. Ono so say enya Bawku nti na ono ba ho. Oba ho because of Ghana nti. Minim se Bawku nka Ghana ho a. Na ni nyina kwambra no me de blame no emma honorable speaker. The right speaker, Speaker Bagwin. Ona de mano. Since speaker honorable Bagwin ebeye speaker of parliament. E wo Ghana ha no. Odi akonja no say ye difi akonja pep. Enya mra na odi adwuma wo. Ne ono pe no eno na enye ho. Imagine say mo akwa parliament. Na se watimi akwa koso majority MPs no speak microphone adundum ni nyina. Na afi de moyi mahama yarga nkwa de any speaker omo de nkwa na kasa eba. Indi se moyi budget no number 30 so and so na ma approve ama mo ho. Se we na obakasa na ma frɛ na wa ba gina ho na ono na kasa by majority and minority there why you want from anyone who say yakacha mu say mukura 180 something no be kura 87 and so 87 no wa konka mo ankasa na muka say the majority leader say omo ka say omo che omo mu a omo ba ma omo mienu na bia san aka kire na so sa mienu ni nyina chi no moya minority ayi se tumi ena mo bedi speaker say ukwat na parliament na me kura no minim say na ya wo mempo a mintimi nkire but what na parliament honom sa besin ne wontimi nkire mempuntu a wa ankasa kura no wotwene ko na doli but obedi speaker what the speaker not to say sebi aye na doli akonja na wudi aye fi akonja pepe de open no en na obeye won fa mra nya adwuma. Imagine say ECOWAS members ECOWAS parliament members na afenyo marking eka ho mu ba be ko mu pese mu yini firi mu ti mu aseda san akwa select foforo mu ko duru honom no ye say yan approve mu because say afenyo marking ka ho a Ghana for na nya de a ye so yam in afenyo marking mu ko duru ho se mu ko ye na wote ho ko oya member ho dada anya mo na mu de ko ye o na me pese me ma ye ka kire majority leader say afenyo marking na mu hu no ho no se wudi na chi a wo hu wan ya kura mba betoso utinwi ni nyina be fita wo ba se nyina be fita because pressure o de be ma wo no afenyo marking no onye human being o iti man fa ni ndi akoro hwe wudi afenyo marking achi a wo do no odi nim de na ya na de o ene mmara nti wo ye gidigidi nyina no ono no mmara no na odi wachi nti se wan hwe ya wan hwe abadwana ja parliament ai majority leader ka hu say asam ana MPP for NDC for apama ono say we majority leader na afenyo marking minority leader no asam na o mapama say anka omo so a ministry ba ko 3 ene de ma okora enka yesi adwuma wa kwaje no because papa we wontimi no de bia obetiti wo saa wan hwe kora da koro betu blues ai go no o ye ni nyina won fiu but the open no enye ho obema Ghana for hu say ne o ye no
you are saying we are being myopic.
I'm saying violence begets violence. It was violence that created the Kpandai problem.
Violence? What do you mean by that? Please posit your argument. What do you mean by violence got us here?
Violence begets violence. We are talking, this Kpandai issue arose as a result of what? Violence. When they were doing the coalition in Kpandai, it was the NDC, I have the video we can play it, who sent pickups with their people to go and disrupt that counting with violence.
You mean your video?
Yeah, there are videos out there of the NDC going in pickups to disrupt the counting. It was that violence.
And the MPP videos, do you have them?
No, you have them. Maybe you can also.
No, I don't have any of the videos.
No, I'm telling you, I've seen videos. I've seen videos of people in NDC pickups who have gone there to vandalize it. I've seen it.
Okay.
It's on social media.
But I'm asking, do you have the MPP side?
I've told you what I have. If you also have the MPP ones, you can also talk about it. I'm only telling you what I have.
I don't have any videos.
So good. So I'm telling you what I have. You're asking me what you have other ones to know. I'm just telling you this is what I have.
Okay.
What I have or what I've seen is people in NDC pickups who went to the center, disrupted the voting through violence. One, it was the violence that necessitated the transfer, the EC to take those boxes to Tamale to count. And it was that action that led to the what? The law, the suit at the court, and it was that suit that nullified the voting. So it started with violence. So I'm surprised that people are being hypocritical. No, we didn't come here. No, it's violence. It was the violence of the people that led to what? The court case, and that brought us here. So one, you must understand that. I sat here last week and he said that if Kpandai stands, we are glorifying violence, electoral violence. If Kpandai stands, people will begin to game systems. And I've said it's very simple. Look, he's a member of parliament. He can tell you. By the time, if you give literally 1 hour, 2 hours after the voting, he knows whether he was winning or not. Even before you go to the coalition center. Because these days, everybody is collating their centers from the polling stations. So by the time they bring all of them there, you know your stand even before you go to the coalition center.
I don't understand.
What I'm saying is that if you have 10 polling stations
I'm asking you this question because we've had seats that were in contention.
I know.
And then they were reversed. Because they are pink sheets that people could not verify. They were even just soft copies, etc. And we've seen them. That's the reason why we had pockets of incidents, of course, violence, that characterized the last election. And that's why those incidents were recorded.
Good. So, again, by the time we are going to the coalition centers, almost every candidate knows your standing. So that is why the incidence of ballot box snatching has reduced drastically, whilst we are now seeing a new rise in the storming of our coalition centers. The storming of coalition centers seems to be because that is where people now think that let's prevent the coalition. Now, my point is that if Kpandai stands, and it says that it is going to incentivize what? The storming of coalition centers going forward. If Kpandai stands, violence is going to be used because all you need to know is, okay, I'm losing this election, so let me storm the polling station and see whether I can stop the election. And then give me the system. If Kpandai stands, people are going to use it to game the system. People are going to use it as a test case of how to what?
How are they going to use it to game the system?
I've explained. They will simply know, losing candidates will just know, okay, if I'm able to disrupt the coalition and make sure that materials are destroyed, then it may go to what? An election. If it goes to an election 50-50. You mean
a rerun?
A rerun. If it's going to be 50-50. Now, that's what I'm saying, that we have to make sure that Kpandai doesn't become the standard for that. Even if both political parties have used it, if the NDC, MPP has used it in the past, if the NDC has used it in the past, it is about time we begin to say, no, we should not make violence win. If Kpandai stands, violence has win. If Kpandai stands, hooliganism has win. If Kpandai stands, party vigilantism has won. We should stop that so that we are able to have a system, the will of the people done. Secondly, I believe that Parliament should have or could have handled this things way better. Because the minority in Parliament seems to be of the view that there is a rush or there's a hurry to declare the seat and declare a re-election. The majority seems to think that they are only just doing or implementing the law. I think there's a middle ground somewhere. And some of these middle grounds are not things that you have to discuss on the floor of Parliament or even the Parliament. Parliament sits, is it in the evening or in the afternoons?
In the afternoon.
In the afternoons. So the whole period from the morning to afternoon provided an avenue for cooler heads to emerge, for cooler heads to state and say, look, what are we going to do about this? Because see, the moment you should have known, or you ought to have known, that the moment the clerk sends a letter there were going to be reactions. You ought to know, should have known that the moment the clerk sends a letter saying that you are declaring this, and especially...
But the clerk has been communicated to. And within the standing orders of Parliament, if Parliament is notified through the office of the Speaker, the Speaker has the discretion to act based on that standing.
I'm not questioning that. I'm only saying that...
But you are saying that the action that has been taken is creating a problem.
All I'm saying is that you ought to have known that the moment you send that letter, it was going to create some problems. You ought to have anticipated it. Anticipating means that then you could have then used methods, processes. Before even the House convenes, leadership could have started meeting with the clerk, meeting with the Speaker, to try to find an amicable solution before you go to the floor. This is a failure of leadership in both sides of the House. The fact that you carried this issue to the floor, now on the floor, it was not only law, it was also emotions, and that is why we saw the chaos. This chaos could have been prevented if the leadership had done a good job of mediating, of talking, and of having this things done. I am beginning to understand that and try to see that, look, this Parliament is not going to go smooth as possible. Even when we had 50-50 House, it went a little bit smooth. And even when we had a majority, it's going to smoother. Ghanaians now have an opportunity to ask them.
The Speaker has made that call or appeal to the minority MPs to allow peace to prevail for business to continue in the House. What it also means is that, and as I see it, one of the clerks has been engaging the leaders of the House, has engaged the Speaker, held some discussions with him, and has come to engage the majority leader, and has now gone back to engage the Speaker briefly. He has left the chamber just now. It is unknown what exactly the conversation has been, but what it is which has unfolded or prevailed so far on the floor is that the minority MPs are refusing to allow the majority leader, AY3ka, to make any commentary on the matter concerning the declaration of the Kpandai parliamentary seat as vacant. In a notice which the clerk to Parliament, Ebenezer Ahoma Jethro, sent to the Electoral Commission, dated 4th December 2025, which means that approximately some 5 days ago, somewhere in last week. Yet again, the importance of it is that the Speaker had earlier made a ruling that after the 7 days mandatory stay of execution of the court order, the honorable member, Matthew Nyendam, once he triggers the appeal or the proceedings for appeal, would in a way extend the, more or less the hold on the order by the High Court, or by a proper interpretation. What it means is that once he exercises his right as contained in Rule 27(1) of CI 19, then it means that there would be a further suspension of the execution of the court order, which calls for a rerun of the parliamentary election in Kpandai. And so the minority has made and held the view that if that is the ruling the Speaker had given, then what is the basis on which the clerk has written to the Electoral Commission asking for or announcing the vacancy and asking that a rerun be held as per the direction of the Electoral Commission, which would have to then set a date and make that happen. But interestingly, and if you have followed all of this and how things have unfolded over the period, you would know also that in all of this, the honorable member himself, after the 7 days mandatory stay, has not been cited around the presence of Parliament and even in the chamber, also because he has been following up. And you would recall that last week the minority leader had raised the case again, yet requesting and demanding that the presiding judge in the case makes his full judgment or reasoning behind